has found protection in our own institutions. Because a few law enforcers, hindi namin nila lahat, a few law enforcers have chosen to become instruments of terror instead of being ministers of justice. As I've said, hindi kami nawawala ng pag-asa dito. For history and experience tell us that there is always hope in the pursuit of righteousness. Hope that those who were once silent in the face of injustice will now have the courage to speak. Sinabi ko po yan sa Committee on Human Rights na huwag na kayong matakot sapagkat gumagawa na tayo ng paraan upang ma-address ang problemang ito. Pero nais kong sabihin sa ating mga kababayan, marami pa rin naging biktima ng pagpatay ay natatakot tumabas. Bakit natatakot? Yan po ba ang ibig sabihin ng leadership? Manakot tayo ng tao para sumunod sa atin? O maging halimbawa tayo ng tamang panunungkulan para ang tao at ang bayan ay sumunod sa atin? Hope that those complicit in wrongdoing will find the resolve to make things right. Hope that we, as lawmakers and public servants, will not allow fear or convenience to dictate the course of justice. To those who come before this committee, to those who still hesitate, to those who are reluctant and afraid to speak the truth, do that which is good. Not for us, not for politics, but for your countrymen who have suffered in silence. For the time for evasion has passed. The time for justice is now. Let these hearings be evidence of our commitment and proof of our resolve. We seek not vengeance, only truth. We wield this power not for personal gain, but for our people. And we will not stop until the evildoers who have plagued our country are unmasked, until justice is restored, and until righteousness prevails. Ano man ang pananakot na ginagawa sa amin. So may God guide us in the days ahead. Maraming salamat po at manigong bagong taon sa inyong lahat.
Thank you, Congressman Abante. The next to deliver his opening remarks is the Chair of the Committee on Public Accounts, Congressman Joseph Caraps Paduano. You are
Thank you,
recognized.
Mr. Chairman. Anyway, Mr. Chairman, as expected from this representation, talagang mahaba po yung opening remarks ulit ni Chairman Abante. But anyway, Mr. Chairman, if Andy started with regards to some issues that was already also raised against this representation and, of course, against this committee. But for the interest of time, Mr. Chairman, and for the expedient of discussing important matters in today's hearing, I'll just, if the chairman will allow, the lead chairman will allow, I'll just have my manifestation on the latter part of this hearing or the closing part of this hearing. Dahil after this, Mr. Chairman, may mga admin matters pa tayo na that has to be discussed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Paduano. The next to deliver his opening remarks is the Chair of the Committee on Public Order and Safety, Congressman Dan Fernandez. You are
Mr. Chair,
recognized.
I will not deliver any opening remarks, so we can start right away. Maraming salamat po.
Okay, thank you for that manifestation, Congressman Fernandez. Before we proceed, let me acknowledge the presence of our honorable members, Honorable Faustino Ino D., Honorable Jefferson Konghun, and Honorable Franz Castro. Okay, so the Chair would like to recognize Congressman Bordado for his short manifestation. You have 2 minutes, Congressman Bordado.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I wish to echo the voices of countless families whose loved ones fell victim to the tragic consequences of the previous administration's war on drugs. These innocent lives, taken without due process, cry out for justice. Justice that this august chamber has seriously considered by adopting the House Quad Committee's report on extrajudicial killings. Mr. Chairman, as highlighted in the QuadComm's findings, the war on drugs not only disregarded the sanctity of human life, but also trampled on our people's fundamental rights. The evidence presented, including testimonies, legislative gaps, and even admissions from former officials, paints a grim picture of a systematic policy of violence and impunity. And as pointed out by our chairman himself, Congressman Ace Barbers, and I quote, "Former President Rodrigo Duterte's war on drugs was a catastrophic failure, and it corrupted the Philippine National Police, promoted impunity, and led to widespread human rights abuses," unquote. Mr. Chairman, the report's recommendations to pursue charges against or under Republic Act 9851, the Philippine Act on Crimes against International Humanitarian Law, genocide, and other crimes against humanity are critical steps towards accountability, and naming those involved signals our commitment to upholding the rule of law. Mr. Chairman, this is not simply a matter of looking back at a dark chapter in our history. It is about ensuring that no administration, present or future, will ever again exploit the powers of government to wage a war that disregards due process, human dignity, and the rule of law. I support the legislative proposals outlined in the QuadComm report, the classification of extrajudicial killings as heinous crimes, the prohibition of Philippine offshore gaming operators which have been linked to illegal drugs and money laundering, strengthening mechanisms for civil forfeiture of unlawfully acquired properties, and establishing the Philippine National Police Internal Affairs as an independent and autonomous agency. Mr. Chairman, justice must not be delayed any longer. These reforms, coupled with the pursuit of accountability, are necessary steps towards healing the wounds of the past and restoring trust in our institution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman Bordado, for the manifestation. For the conduct of a orderly hearing for today, we have two topics that we will discuss. The first topic for this morning is the topic on the illegal drugs. And then later this afternoon, we will proceed with the topic on the extrajudicial killings. So the resource persons for these topics are present and have been aware of the procedure in this committee hearing. So before we continue with the interpellations of the members to be propounded to the resource persons, let me acknowledge first Congressman Paduano for some admin matters. Congressman Paduano, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Once again, good morning, everyone. Mr. Chairman, we haven't received a copy of the excuse letter coming from former DOJ Secretary, Attorney Vitaliano Aguirre, with regards to the invitation sent to him